So, welcome back to Roll for Damage. Today, I'm going to show you how to make these fantasy coins. Now, I got these 4 front coins, all from a copper plate purchased from Hobby Lobby. It was $9 before the 40% coupon. There you see it. It's just a really thick sheet. Now, they had some thinner sheets, but I wanted a really thick coin. And what you see me doing is I actually went and printed out the design of the 5th edition currency and decided to make the copper coin based off that that currency. Now I wanted it to fit with my campaign as well, so only half of the side of that coin will have that that design, and the other half will be, or the flip side of that coin will be something to my campaign. So, to get this started, you cut your coin out, you design it how you want. I tried several different methods and failed multiple times until I figured out how to get this done. All I'm doing now is putting a plastic Tupperware, do not use metal. I am putting about half a cup of salt, very salty. I am wrapping the copper coin with a wire, and then I need another piece of metal on the opposite side. So I'm also going to wrap this copper coat hook with metal. You want to submerge them on opposite sides of the electrolyte solution. You want the copper piece, the piece that you're pulling metal away from, you want on the positive side of the battery. Excuse me. The piece that you're bringing the metal particles to, all the atoms to, is going to be the negative side of this battery. Now, this was a learning lesson for me. I used this thin wire for this attempt, and it immediately, this first attempt, I used Sharpie marker, and everything I watched on saltwater etching said to use Sharpie marker, and then it works. But you see those black particles? As soon as that copper heated up, it just decimated that Sharpie marker, and it just basically just blasted all of it off my coin. So I quickly realized that that's not gonna work. So I'm showing you there that, okay, that was a failure. Take 2. We're going to try a paint marker. Now the paint marker, I believe is oil-based, so in theory this should work. So again, I'm going and I'm reapplying the design. You want to make sure you cut the edges as well, because whatever is not covered is going to be eaten away, and you don't want jagged, sharp edges. So make sure you coat everything. Side, you want to coat, if you have a circle drilled through the coin, you want to coat the inside of that circle as well. Now, I coated the back with tape to see how well that would work, and in theory, it should work wonderful. However, as soon as this hits the water gets behind the tape, and then it was pretty pointless. However, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I just went ahead and scribbled, just some little crazy symbol on the back of it. Again, my coin to the hot side, to the positive, and the collecting metal to the negative. I was trying to show you that yeah, this is what the water looks like after a while, and this is because this is the metal particles being transferred from one piece of metal to the other. Now you see that bubbling that's going on there? That is on my negative side. That's on my copper piece. So basically that's bubbling, and it's pulling atoms from my copper coin to this copper coat hook. Now this paint marker would have worked beautifully, and this is where I failed on this attempt. I let it sit, and you want it to sit for about an hour and a half, 2 hours on a C-cell battery. When I came back, you see the coin didn't come up with it? Well, that's because the metal, actually, it pulled all the metal from my coat, or from my cable, and just basically snapped my cable, and my coin fell. And my coin was no longer, at this point, and I don't know how long it stood like that, but it was no longer pulling atoms off my coin because the connection was severed. Again, I probably could have taken care of that a little better. Maybe if I would have maybe electrical taped around that piece of wire. However, this was a failure, and I realized at this point that I have to try a different approach. I'm lightly sanding it just to see how deep the etch actually went, and surprisingly, it was pretty good. So if that cable would have held, I would have had a really good etching on this. You could barely see that little bit of triangle on there. Again, my paint marker, I'm a sand that off just a little bit, and then show you in a second what this looks like. And you could see where it started to etch. Now this is very, very shallow. If you would take sandpaper, it would probably take that off in a few seconds. So just be careful when you're using sandpaper. I'm using a 1000 grit sanding block. Now I got bored, obviously, and started playing with Elsa and Anna stickers. Now I figured stickers might work, and then I spent like 30 minutes trying to cut things out for the sticker. And as soon as I put it in the water, they just dissipated and fell apart, and that was another failed attempt. So again, frustrated, I turned to my paint Sharpie. This was the answer. This paint Sharpie was my saving grace. It didn't come off. I re-soaked it. Look how beautiful those are. Now that one in my, well, the right hand, that on the right side of the screen, that's polished. And now I'm going to polish this one for you. And you can see how bright and shiny that's getting. Now, just be careful. If you're going to use a Dremel, you want to polish one way. Now you see me flipping the coin, and I'm going up and down, and then I'm moving left to right, but what's not changing is the direction that brush is spinning. So if you change the direction of the brush, it's going to buffer at a different angle, and it's going to give you a weird shine. So when you go to buff it out, make sure, and you don't have to use this because it was still plenty shiny with me just using an old t-shirt, old white t-shirt, and buffing it. But you know, this gave me a really super high gloss, and I really loved it. So at this point, you could see how well that saw, and this isn't very deep at all. Now, if you wanted that old copper look, it'll turn this way naturally, or you can use something called liver of sulfur, and that's from the old alchemy days when they thought sulfur was still a metal, and you could patina these to make them look older. However, I wanted my nice shiny copper coins for as long as they would stay that way, and those look pretty badass, man. They're really cool. Yeah, double thumbs, that's right. Alright, so here we are. Here is our double coins. Now I'm going to show you how to turn your copper coins silver. And we're going to use zinc as our weapon of choice. Now, zinc can be found inside pennies after 1982. And what I did was I melted a bunch of pennies down, excuse me, and created a lump of zinc. Do not do that inside, do that outside, and do not breathe that stuff in. Or you can just go to a boat supply place. Most of those have zinc because they use those to coat their live wells and stuff like that. However, so we're doing the same process, but reverse. We now want the zinc to go to our coin. So our coin is negative, our zinc is positive. Now, you'll see the coin start to bubble if I can stop moving the camera. Doesn't take very long at all for this process to happen. Look at that already. Boom. Pretty cool, right? Right? Alright, so we have us a nice pretty copper coin. We have a nice pretty silver coin. Well, what's our next currency? Gold. That's right. So, what happens when you mix copper and zinc? You get brass. And brass is pretty gold looking. So this wasn't my best attempt. I've done this several times with pennies and quarters and stuff like that, and they come out looking like perfect gold. However, this one looks like unpolished brass, like tarnished brass. This could have been done a little bit better, and this coin wasn't designed. I was just testing it out. But look at there, that's pretty awesome, right? Nice gold coin. And all we did was heat it up. We heat it up till it starts turning yellow, and then drench it. And there we have our fantasy coins DIY in less than 10 minutes. Well, 11 minutes. So thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. See you next craft.